lecture, we are going to talk about the control flow. So by saying control flow, it's like controlling the execution of Python code. So we have different structures here. So first of all, the branch is a structure, the sequence of statements only executed under a certain condition. So same as we specify, like what code we want to execute once a certain condition is satisfied. Okay. So first thing first, as an example, the real world example, you may have a light switch. So once you turn it on, only then the light turns on, otherwise the light remains switched off. So this is the condition. Excuse me. So here we have if structure. So if this statement, whatever we have written in the statement here, if this statement satisfy, if the condition satisfy, only the block of code written underneath it and an indented block of code written underneath it will execute. Then we have another type of a structure called the if-else structure. So if the certain conditions satisfy, the block of code underneath written it in the indented block will execute. Otherwise, if the condition does not satisfy, the else block is executed. Then we have another structure which checks sequence, conditions in a sequence. So if the conditions satisfy, it executes this piece of code. If the condition does not satisfy, it will check the another condition written next to the first one. So if this condition satisfy, it execute this piece of this block of code, and so on and so forth until it reaches to the else block. If neither of these conditions satisfy, it executes whatever we have written in the else block. Now the important thing needs to mention here is that one of these conditions execute only. So if as soon as the condition, so for example here, if the first if condition does not satisfy but the second one satisfy, all other remaining conditions will not be executed, including the else block. So else block will also be not executed. Okay. So only one of the condition will one of the condition block will execute. Okay. So next thing is as an example. So how do we check for the condition is like this. So double underscore name, double underscore is actually a variable name, and recall that we discussed that we can give a name, any meaningful name. So double underscore name, double underscore is actually a built-in variable which just stores the module name. But let's forget about it right now. Let's see this as a normal variable, double underscore name, double underscore, and whatever value is stored in this one, we are comparing it with a string. And the value of the string here is double underscore main double underscore. It could be anything. So once this condition satisfy, means like whatever the value stored in this variable is equivalent to this string, and only then the code that we have written underneath it in the indented block of code will execute. Okay. So this is a Boolean expression. It returns either true or false. So if this statement returns true, this block of code is executed. If this statement returns false, it will not be executed. Okay. Similarly, we have if-else statement. So if this condition does not satisfy, what do we want our Python code to execute? So it would execute anything that is written under else block. It will execute that piece of code. Okay. We can also have multiple test statements, like if name is equal to this string, if double underscore name double underscore this variable is equivalent to this thing, execute this piece of code, and so on and so forth. Okay.